Good day, folks. Welcome to the MD Wildman channel. On today's video, we're talking game cameras again, trail cameras. And I picked up this one the other day at Canadian Tire. They were on sale, regular $249, on for $100. So I got one, and we're going to give it the run through for you here. So this is a Prizm Lightsout from Wildgame Innovations. Now, typically I don't buy Wildgame cameras. I had some early on when I first started into hunting and trail cameras and that, but I didn't love them. And anyway, but they've come a long way since then. All the ones I had before, I had like the nighttime flash and all that stuff. And as you may know, if you check out the channel, I'm kind of a Browning camera kind of guy. And I've got a couple of Bushnells that I really like, but I've never kind of gone into the off brands or the other brands of cameras. But anyway, couldn't resist the sale, so thought we'd check this one out. Listen, if you haven't yet subscribed to the MD Wildman channel, we sure would appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell so that you get notified when we upload new content. Maybe we got some videos that pique your interest and you get notified when we upload those videos, so wouldn't want you to miss any. Listen, as always, if you got questions, comments, feedback, whatever you got, go ahead and leave those in the comment section down below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can on those. So this camera is 20 megapixels, sorry. Comes with the batteries, comes with 8 batteries and 2 8GB SD cards. So right there, I mean, if you take a look at value, right there you've got, 8 batteries is probably $5 or $6, whatever. And then the 2 8GB SD cards. I know in today's world, 8 gig isn't very much, but if you're just taking photos with your game camera, 8 gig is piles, right? So the 2 cards is a little bonus too. So really, if you paid $100 for this camera, and then you get the 2 cards and the batteries, I mean, really, you're kind of paying like $75 for the camera itself. So that's not too bad. Really can't beat that. First downside is that I can't find a bear box for these anywhere. Now, if you know me and you know my channel, I don't put any cameras out in the woods without bear boxes. But this is going to have to be the exception to the rule because I can't find anywhere that I can get a bear box for this camera. So listen, if you happen to know, if you run one of these cameras or a camera like this and you know where to get a metal bear box for it, go ahead and drop that in the comments down below. I'd love to know where to get one. I'm going to use this thing. So says we've got a 70-foot detection range and a 3/4 of a second trigger speed. So really good as far as what the box says. Now we're going to take this out. We're going to set it up, and I'm going to put some of these things to the test. But anyway, let's get this out of the box. Holy moly. Okay, so about 10 minutes, 2 screwdrivers, and my knife later, I'm finally into the package. Clearly, you could use the packaging as a bear box because nothing would ever get into it. Holy. Okay. So, according to the package, this camera is supposed to be a really high-end. So it's got silent shield technology, okay, which means that your camera goes unnoticed. It's supposed to be very silent. First, one of the nice things about the camera is it does blend in well. Okay, it's small form-wise. We've only got about 6 by 3.5 by 2.5. Okay, so it's a small form factor camera, real nice as far as size goes. Easy to pack, light, all good that way. It's got adaptive illumination technology, meaning that it's supposed to use the flash at the right distance from your target animal, so you always get the right exposure to the animal. I guess we'll see. And it's got lights out technology, of course, which means it uses complete black flash. There's no glow, no anything like that, so it just you shouldn't know when it takes a picture, especially at nighttime. So. It's got a regular camera set screw in the back, for mounting to different things. If you want to mount it that way, that's good. I like where it is placed high up in the back, so that you can mount it, with one of those screw-in deals on a tree. So it does mount well. It's not on the bottom, doesn't interfere with anything. Mounts from the back. That's nice. So I do like that about it. And get rid of all this garbage here for now. User's manual, okay, comes with it, that's nice. It also comes, this camera is supposed to be completely integratable or it works really well with hunt stand. So if you're in an area where a hunt stand is a thing that you use, then this camera will automatically work with that program, so, or that app. So that's good too if that's something that you use. Okay, so let's check out what we've got. We've got the two SanDisk 8 gig cards, we've got our batteries, and we've got our strap. So this is always the first thing I check out to see how strong or how rugged these straps are. This one is plastic, but has a good, it seems to be strong. It's made out of really, I mean, it seems to be rugged, okay? Not as good as the Browning ones, I don't think, with the metal clips, but it seems to hold there tight. It's got a good spring and lots of length. So strap's not too bad. Let's get it fired up and see what we got. So batteries. I could read the instruction manual, I suppose. Okay, so here's a clip down. Oh, that's neat. So, all right, so the clip comes down and then you expose this from the bottom. Your battery compartment. Oh, I like that too. That's a lot like the Brownings. Okay, we'll get some batteries in here. Positive. Negative. Positive. Negative. Okay. Batteries. In. SD card. Okay, that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Got a good waterproof seal on the bottom. There's a little gasket here on the bottom. Looks like it's good and waterproof. It should seal up nice around the battery compartment and the SD card, so that's good. And then we've just got to go ahead and set it up. Let's see how easy or difficult that is. So, power. All right, so power's right on. Piece of cake. You got some options here. We got time and date to set. We've got photos, exposure, image, 0 photos, time and date, images, stills. Okay, so let's see if I can figure this real easy without the instruction manual. Time and date, you just hit the enter to set the time. What time is it? I've got 2:51, so 2 and then hit enter again. It goes to the minutes. That's easy. Okay, so it's real straightforward. You got your buttons on the bottom, and those buttons are just power, plus, minus, and enter. So when you get to what you want to set, you just hit your enter button and it'll flash, and then you hit your plus or minus to go up or down or scroll through. And then when you're finished with it, you just go ahead and hit the enter button again, and it moves you to the next part. So super easy setup so far. 2:52 now, enter. Month, 07, 567, enter, enter, day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today's the 20th of July, July 20, enter. 2019, nope, 2020, enter. Perfect, okay, photos. So we go to photos, and what do we got here? We've got stills, yeah, okay, so we want to take stills. We have the option for video or stills. We're going to take stills and we're going to go to exposure, medium, high, or low. We're going to go to high because I take everything in the highest resolution possible. And then delay. Okay, so we want to delay it for 1 minute between photos. Okay, and I'm back up to date and time. So super easy setup. Let me just go through that again and make sure I got that right. Piece of cake. All right, so she's all set. Turn the power off. Turn the power off. I assume you hold the power button down. There we go. Okay, so it's all set and powered off. Clips back on like that. It does also have a great spot for a cable, right? So if you want to put a cable through and around your tree, like a lockbox cable, so that no one can open up your camera, right? Here's one thing I don't like about the camera. I'll share with you right now, and this is just from my experience. Cameras that open with something that you can pull down as opposed to like pulling toward you, in New Brunswick, bears love them. So what'll happen is if I've got this mounted to a tree, say my hand is the tree, a bear can come along and whatever, and if you can get a claw behind this, he's gonna pull that like that, and as soon as that flops down, that's gonna be a problem. He's gonna either wanna play with that or he's gonna eat it, or all of a sudden you got your camera exposed. So if I'm gonna use this, I'm certainly gonna put a lock through right here, just to make sure that nothing can grab and pull down on that and open it up. But small thing, you know, in the grand scheme. So I'm gonna turn it back on. And as you can see here, so you're just gonna turn the power button on. Right, so all my settings should still be saved there. You probably cannot see them on that screen, likely not. But they're all saved. It's now 2:55 and it's flashing time and date. Okay, so my red light just quit flashing, or when it quits flashing. There we go, see that? So it quits flashing, so now it's probably taking pictures of you, right? Sensing motion. Okay, so that's a motion test. That's nice for the first little bit. Anytime it sees motion, the red light flashes. That lets you get out and walk back and forth and figure out where, you know, what range it's detecting, which is nice. And then as soon as it's ready to start taking pictures, the screen goes blank. Okay, so screen blanks, and I'm assuming right now that's all set and ready to take photos. Okay, so overall so far, I don't hate the camera. Like I said, it's got a pretty good strap. It's easy to set up, simple as can be. Let's get this baby in the woods and see what kind of pictures it takes. Okay, so just before we go out into the woods, a couple things that dawned on me just after I kind of had this all set to go out into the woods. There's nowhere to select how many photos it takes per burst when it's triggered. So I read through the instruction manual, which really isn't much, just a little page on setup. So it is easy to set up, but it doesn't have a whole lot of options for us, right? So in the settings, it will only take one picture per trigger. So, you know, I've got this on a 1 minute delay right now, and so in theory, when something comes in, it's going to take a picture. It says 3/4 of a second trigger speed, which show, you know, you might get something just coming into your spot or whatever, and then it's going to go to sleep for a minute, and then it's going to wake up, and if there's still motion, it's going to take one picture. But I can't set it to take any more than just that one picture. Like with my Brownings, I can take up to 8 pictures in a burst, right? Or every time it takes motion, it can go like picture, 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 picture until the next one. So I don't like that. This will only take one picture per detection or per trigger. The other thing I looked at was once you get all your things set, this will go into operational mode after 30 seconds of no buttons being pushed, which is pretty good. And then after 2 minutes, it'll go lights out, and then it doesn't do anything. It just takes the picture, and there's no indicators or no lights or no anything like that. So I'm actually going to reset this to go into the 30 seconds between pictures, just because if there's motion, you know, a lot of times you get it with something just stepping into your area, and then it takes a photograph. You may not get the whole thing. If you wait a minute, it may come and go, right? And then you won't get anything else. So I'm going to reset this to 30 seconds between bursts or between pictures. And hopefully that'll be a better option for us here. So I don't like that about the camera. That is true. Okay, guys, I'm back here in an area where this is the spot where I shot a nice 7-point a couple of years back. And I've had some salt out here and some of my homemade deer cane. I've had it out since, I don't know what, end of April-ish, 1st of May. I've had some activity in here, no camera in here yet, because I know there's usually some activity in here, right? You never know how much buck activity is in here, but there's usually you know, a lot of does early on. So anyway, I thought this would be a good spot to try out the camera because I know there's activity here, and I've had some mineral and some salt out here for a while. So I'm going to use this tree right there. My salt and my mineral, my homemade deer cane, went right basically where we're sitting now. So there's still a pretty good chunk of my my trophy rock left, my salt rock, and the ground is pawed up pretty good. Let's see if I can show you just a second. The ground is pawed up pretty good around where there's been some track, right? There's my trophy rock there, right? So there's been some track around for sure. So you know there's been some recent activity here because there hasn't been rain in a little bit, probably 4 or 5 days, but you can see where it's dug up here a little bit. So it looks like at least one set of moose tracks and 2 or 3 different sets of deer tracks. So I don't see anything super big, but whatever. So what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to set the camera up on that tree. And like I say, we've got it set like I showed you, and we're going to leave this for about a week. And then I'll pop back in here and pull the camera and see what we've got and what type of pictures, daytime, nighttime, whatever, and we can give it kind of a good look. I am going to refresh the spot here once I get the camera up. I'm going to refresh the spot with its time, right? So it's 1st of August. So I'm going to refresh the spot with some mineral. It'll be the last time I do that until hunting season. And then after hunting season, I may go to a food type bait, but I don't know. You really don't need it in here. It's just such a great area. Just sit quiet, sit down, sit still, and usually there's some deer in the area. But so anyway, I'm gonna put the camera on that tree right there. Hold tight. Okay, so setup was pretty simple. I mean, just that one strap in the back. I don't love the plastic clip. I've got it tightened pretty good, but it seems like you can tighten it and then it loosens off a little tiny bit. So I'm gonna end up tying that extra strap that I've got in the back. I'm gonna end up having to tie that around just to make sure it's secure. So I don't love the strap. I like the metal buckles better, like the Brownings have, but anyway, we'll see. So I've got it pretty high up in the tree right now. I've got it probably close to 5 feet up, and I'm going to angle it down just a little bit with the stick behind it, just so I get a kind of a good down angle here, and I should get whatever motion comes kind of in this area. So it's not too bad to install, really. So camera's set, okay, and I got a little stick in the back, just enough to angle the camera. You can see just enough to the camera angled down. Okay, so there's the spot there, right out in front, and there's a big meadow kind of part in the back there. My tree stand is right over there, way up in that, nestled in those bushes over there. About 95-ish yards between that tree stand and where that little opening is. Okay guys, I'm going back in here to swap out the camera card and see what we got for pictures on the new camera. Now, I came in a different way. I came in from my tree stand, which is behind me, and I'm gonna walk straight toward the camera, and hopefully I can see how far away it picks up the first picture. Now, it's only been 5 nights in here, but hopefully that'll have been enough time to get some activity. If not, I guess we can, figure out how good it is from the pictures it takes of me. Hopefully it should have taken a picture by now. I'm right now, I'm about, I'd say 30 feet, maybe 35 feet. Might be 40 from the camera, but hopefully it would have taken a picture by now. Definitely there's definitely some deer tracks here, for sure. That looks like a little doe, maybe a doe and a lamb, but definitely some deer tracks here in the where I refreshed the stuff. Right, yeah. Pretty good tracks actually, because I mussed this all up with my feet, right? Like I scuffed it all up. So all these are fresh track from when I was in here. So great. Now let's see if the camera took good pictures or not. Now I'm gonna pull the card and swap it out. All right, so there's my good card. I won't know how many pictures are on that, I guess, until I get home, but there has been a fair bit of activity here, so that's good. Okay, so I swapped the card out, put the new card in, turned it back on. But while I was doing that, I did notice something. These cameras are pretty strong, because that right there is most definitely a bare tooth or claw mark. Almost guarantee it. Right here on the side, I'd say that's a tooth mark from a bear. I'd say bear. I can't think of what else. There's one right there, actually in the. Let's hope it took. Let's see how good a pictures it takes, because that right there, see that indent right there? That would be where a claw or a tooth hit that black surface there. So definitely had a bear check the camera out up close and personal, and it seems to be no worse for the wear. So with any luck, it still took good pictures. All right, so back here at the house now, and we're taking a look at the pictures from the new camera. This first picture is me walking in on it, actually filming myself walking in. You just saw that on the video a minute ago. I'm actually inside of where I had hoped it would first start taking pictures. So where I'm standing right there, I'm probably only about, oh man, if I'm 10, 15, you know, 10, 12 yards maybe. So I would say I'm at about 20 feet from the camera right there where it took that first picture. That doesn't seem like a very long distance out to me for the flash to, you know, for it to take a picture. But the color looks good there, and we'll see what else is on there for game. Okay, so like I said, it was only 5 nights that I left this camera in here, and you can see here's pictures of me setting it up a little bit and freshening up the spot with some of my deer cane stuff that I make. Anyway, so this is 3:31 in the morning apparently, which tells me that I've got the AM and PM wrong on this camera. So anyway, so we've got wind, nighttime picture, first nighttime picture here, and I see a squirrel climbing up the tree. So not a bad flash range. It shows out about as far as I was walking, so that's not too bad for nighttime photo. Got the squirrel going up the tree. Then I've got wind and wind and wind. A lot of wind pictures. Lots of, well, there's a completely blacked out picture. That's got to be some critter of some kind, maybe a bear, or maybe something flew in front of the camera, not sure. Some more wind. Lots of wind. Okay, so I deleted a bunch of wind pictures here, and I'm even flipping through some here. Oh, there you go. Okay, so there's the first deer that's in. Now this says 2:24 in the morning, so I'm assuming it's 2:24 p.m. On August the 6th. And nice little fella in there. Looks like maybe a 6-point. Not bad color to the photos, a little bit dark up close. That might just be the fact that I've got the camera nestled in the trees, shooting at like a wide open space. But, you know, daytime photos look good. There's a pretty nice picture there of him standing broadside, so that's not bad. And now he's actually farther out than what it looked like where I was standing. So that took a picture a little farther away than when I first walked in on the camera, so that's a little bit encouraging. Here he's back in close. Some more wind, it looks like. Now that's that buck back again in the evening, 6 o'clock on the same day. In the evening, so now that picture's pretty dark now that it's in the shadow. You can't really, I mean, you can see the deer clearly, but you can't see much of his body. It's all pretty much black. So I don't really love the color. Okay, and there's a nighttime picture where it switched over. It's 9:16 at night. Doe comes in, and that isn't too bad. There's the buck back the next morning at 7:30. That little buck's in here quite a little bit in this stretch. Oh, okay, and there's me walking in. So in those 5 days, I ended up with 67 pictures, which wasn't too bad. You got to count that, you know, some of them were me setting it up and leaving and all that. But overall, not really too bad. The quality of the camera is good. The only thing that I would say is that it did take a fair number of wind pictures that I deleted and that I had to skip through. So it is quite sensitive. Now maybe I've just got a leaf in the wrong spot or something really close that's triggering the sensor. That's always something that we got to look for. But the color is good. I mean, the picture quality looks pretty good, nighttime and daytime. And as far as the range of detection goes, I'd say it's right out there in the 25 to 30 foot range, which is pretty much a pretty good standard. Also, a fair number of pictures of game just entering the camera, so you know that the trigger speed is good. It doesn't take a long time to flash, like you don't get a lot of animals that I've already left. So overall, not too bad. Pretty happy with this camera for the price. $100. Canadian Tire on sale. Anyway, listen, I hope this helps you out, and some information that you can use on these new Wildgame cameras. So anyway, until next time, happy hunting from the MB Wildman channel.